Welcome to the space between. This is a space that I've created where between you and I, we can grow, we can laugh, we can learn, and we can even heal. My name is Rebecca, or just Rebex, and I'm really happy and grateful that you clicked on the video and decided to come and hang out with me today. As you can see by the title, today's video is a bit of a personal one. I won't even lie to you. This was a hard video to sit down for. Even as I'm recording now, it is a heavy video for me, but it's a video that I always knew I was going to post from the moment I decided to post on this channel. It's a personal video. It's an important video for me to share. The reason why I wanted to share this video was because when I was going through my depressive time, I really did not think there was light at the end of the tunnel. And I want whoever's going through something like this or knows someone who's going through this to know that there is light. I promise you. It might take a while. For some, it takes longer than others. But there's light, I can promise you. And I also wanted to release this video because I know that mental health is a big issue in the country and even globally. I mean, I read a crazy stat the other day saying that South Africa is a country in the world with the highest percentage of its population suffering mental health issues. How insane is that? In the whole world, Saudi is the highest. So I think it was something like 36% of our population is suffering. I'll add some of the statistics on the video as well, and maybe a link to a report that I was reading, because it goes into detail into segments of the population. So what age groups are suffering the most, and the other physical and health issues that come from having mental health issues. So it's obviously something that still needs attention. And again, I'm just here trying to share my story and to give hope, hopefully, to anyone watching, that I promise you it does end. It does end. Okay, so let's go back to where it all began. For me, my depression was triggered by my father's passing, and this happened when I was 15 years old. It was incredibly hard. So my dad, to me, was like my twin. I looked like him. I was his last born. That was my favorite right there. And to lose a parent, I think at any age, is incredibly devastating, because essentially you're losing half of who you are, right? Half of the DNA that created you is now poof, gone. And I didn't know how to process that, man. I went into a state of shock first. I remember I didn't cry about it until we were at the funeral and I saw the casket being lowered. And that was the first time a tear fell. And I remember realizing in that moment that, whew, the brother is gone for good, for real. And I think following that came just like a wave of rage over me. I was very angry. I felt like I had been wronged. I felt like I had been robbed of something. I felt incredibly, I guess, betrayed, but I felt wronged. I think that was the biggest feeling that I had. I remember I got really angry. I started feeling like, what's the point of everything or anything even? Like, why would I try at life if this is what comes of life? I remember having a very, very hard conversation with God where I was just like incredibly angry. I vented and I got so upset that I was just like, you know what? If this is how you're going to act, if this is how you're going to treat me, then I'm out. But yeah, from anger, it just progressed slowly in a very like slow poison type of way into just losing the will to live, the will to try anything. And I remember a few months later, I ended up even being admitted to a hospital so that I can get like some psychological treatment. That did not work. That's a whole nother video about therapist and psychologist and having the right psychologist for the right situation. But anyway, so that did not help. That did not work. And I remember it got to a point where I did try to, end it all for myself. I did get to a point where I felt so hopeless, so uninterested in just trying anything. And I just felt like, what's the point? That I was like, okay, since there is no point, there's no reason for me to be here anymore. So maybe it's time for me to make my exit. And thankfully, none of those attempts worked. because here I am today, glad to be alive, and I see the need for my life. So yeah, so anyway, so this is in high school, right? I didn't even think I'd finish matric because I was literally not showing up for myself. I felt no need to show up for myself. And it's crazy because sometimes I think back, I'm like, how scary must that have been for my mom? I think like how scary must that have been for my mom, who was also grieving, one, but then she's just trying her best to raise these two daughters that she has, and this one is busy malfunctioning here. I'm sure she was also at a loss for what to do, so shout out to her, because she fought for me. She really tried. She was not going to just let me go down like that. You know, she did everything that she could. So thank you, Mom, if you do see this video. Shout out to her for being supportive, for never giving up, for trying as much as she could. But yeah, so anyway, I miraculously make it through matric, and now it's time to go to varsity. But again, I still feel no will to live. I see no point in anything, so why would I try? So I'm thinking, okay, let me take a gap year because I don't know what to study. And I take the gap year, and at this point my feelings have kind of gone from really not wanting to be here anymore, feeling very angry and like upset, to kind of feeling nothing. Because the thing about depression is life goes on, time moves, right? So even if you get stuck or your life feels like you're stuck emotionally, mentally, whatever, the sun is going to set at the end of the day. It's going to rise again. The hour's going to tick by and time moves. So I was being stuck in my, I guess, depressive state, but time was moving. So the end of the gap year came, and my mom was kind of like, bro, you can't, I'm not going to let you just also not do anything with your life. I need you to try something. So we get me enrolled, go to tax, get into race. So here's where I step into my functional depression phase, is what I'll call it. So here I am in a new environment. I don't get to cocoon myself, because at home I was kind of cocooning myself and I'm not interacting with anybody, choosing not to interact. So I'm here at Raise. I have to interact. I have to take part in the activities. So I learned to put my feelings in the back burner, and feeling numb kind of helped for a little bit, because then it meant, okay, I don't have to think about what causes me to feel this way. And mind you, by this time I still have not gotten like proper psychological help. I mean, when I went to the hospital for the help, we barely spoke about my dad or the passing or what any of it means at that point. So I still haven't understood what it means for my dad to be gone, and why it's hurting me the way it is, why I feel the way I do, and how to move on from that. So at this point, it's suppression mode, feeling numb, going through the motions, going through the activities at Reyes, just going to class. I was kind of on autopilot, and this is also a phase in depression where you feel numb for a while, and at first it feels like, okay, at least it's not pain, at least it doesn't hurt. But then it kind of gets to a point where you forget how to feel things. I remember there was a point during this numb phase where I actually wondered, like, will I ever genuinely laugh again? And not laugh as in, ha 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 ha, because I knew how to fake laugh, like when you're with people and someone makes a joke and laughter is happening. So, okay, we're all laughing, or fake smiling, or all of that. Like, I could interact, I could pretend to be normal, but I had not been tickled in years. And when I say tickled, I mean, you know, find something actually funny. I did not feel a genuine laughter for years. Okay. And I remember wondering, like, bro, will I ever feel anything ever again? Like, will I ever feel laughter? Will I feel sadness? Will I feel love? Will I feel excited about anything? Will I feel anything? And that started driving me kind of crazy, because if you ever, which I hope you don't, but if you ever go through a period of just emotional numbness, I can tell you now, at some point it starts to feel worse than actual pain and hurt. I remember there was a phase that I went through in pursuit of feeling something. I would like drink like a really hot tea, and this sounds really dumb, but bruh, desperate times, desperate measures. Okay, so I would make tea, but I would drink it really hot, and I would kind of down it so that my chest area feels something. So you know that pain when you're being burnt, so imagine feeling that pain in your chest area. So it was like a feeling. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so I'm going through the motions, I'm getting through varsity, I'm having like opportunities here and there. I mean, I was in radio, I was on campus radio, I went to commercial radio, I did film school. So all these things are happening in my life, but because I'm not feeling anything, I honestly look back sometimes and I'm like, yo, but I squandered a lot of great opportunities because I did not show up. I was not there. Like physically I was there, but mentally, emotionally, I was not able to be present. And so things did not blossom or grow in a way that they could have. And that's another sucky thing about depression, bruh. Like it's such a thief of your potential. It's such a thief of who you are, to the point where you will even forget and think that that's not who you are. You won't think that you're capable of all these great, amazing things. And it's a weird cycle where because you don't feel like doing anything or putting in effort, you don't. And then when you don't put in effort, you don't get results. And then when you don't get results, it reinforces that you're just not capable. You're not able to flourish and shine the way other people are doing. And so then you stop trying because I'm clearly not that person. I'm not able to, so why would I try? So then I went through that whole cycle for years and years and years. And I think it just got to a point where I got tired, bro. I got tired of feeling nothing. It wasn't even I'm tired of where my life is, because I've always managed to, and thank God for this, I've always managed to be able to do just enough to be able to take care of myself or to have some sort of progression. I was able to always do just enough just to, get somewhere and not completely do nothing and be homeless and be whatever could have happened. So I'm really grateful and lucky that I did not end up collapsing completely. But anyway, I started getting really tired of feeling nothing. I started getting desperate to feel something, anything. I wanted to laugh. I remember the thing that I missed the most was the ability to genuinely find something funny. Like I would look at series like New Girl, The Office, like just binge watching things to simulate laughter or to experience or to try to elicit laughter out of myself, but it just would not happen genuinely, like even in interactions with people. And I know that a lot of friendships and relationships that I was even having at that time was so superficial because I was not able to plug in. So shout out to you if you have been my friend from like when I was 15 until like my mid 20s, from probably until 26 or 27, 28 even, because you were dealing with a shell of a human, but you still tried. Because I met amazing people along the way who were friends, and who tried to love me, even though I was making it very difficult. But anyway, so I get to a point where I'm tired of feeling numb. I just want to feel something. I just want to laugh again. Everything else I see, but just the ability to genuinely fight for me to see something and then be tickled. It's crazy. It's the weirdest thing to think back now that laughing was such a hard thing to achieve. I felt like I had to learn how to laugh. But then that's also when I started praying and I started going back to God and saying, okay, I know I was mad the last time you and I spoke, but I'm struggling, man. Like I need you. Nothing is working. Nothing is helping. Nothing is nothing for me. And so that helped a lot. But that also meant that I had to tap into myself. I had to ask myself questions. I had to speak with myself. I literally had to develop a relationship with myself from scratch in order for me to be able to ask for help and seek psychological help, to seek spiritual help. And I need to make a video honestly about my journey through therapy, because that is a separate journey on its own, and it's a journey. So if you are somebody who's suffering through mental health issues and you've struggled to get a therapist, or you struggle to get a therapist that you can really trust and be yourself with and really try to get help from, my next video is going to be about that, like kind of tips of how to navigate the whole field. And there's nothing wrong with you. I promise you're not doing therapy wrong. If you go to a therapy session and you're just like, it just did not connect, it happens. It just is not the right person for you. But anyway, fast forward to where I am now. So I have done my work. Done my work. The work is not complete, right? But I've gotten to a point where I'm finally able to genuinely laugh. Like, I laugh so much now, even by myself. And it's one of the things that I don't take for granted, because I remember that there was a time where I could not laugh organically. I could not laugh. I could fake laugh for days or day. But to genuinely find something funny, for me, it's a blessing that I can laugh today. But I wanted to make this video to say that now I am outside of the dark tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm super lucky that I am here. I was able to make it out. I never thought I would. There was a time where I didn't think I would even get out of high school alive. And I don't want to say how many years it's been since high school, but needless to say, I am here, I'm alive, and you will get out of whatever mental health struggles that you're facing. If you ever feel like you're stuck, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like, what's the point of trying, because I'm not going to get anywhere, I'm not able to get anywhere, it's too late for me to try, I'm behind, why are other people living, why are they able to have certain experiences and I'm not? Just those feelings of worthless, and that voice in your head that's constantly reminding you of all the reasons why you didn't get that job, or you didn't get that girl or guy, or why you don't have friends like other people have friends. I promise you that is just a liar who's in your head. And it happens. So for me, I think the biggest message or takeaway I want to say is that, one, there's light at the end of the tunnel. You can get out of it. Sometimes all you need is time. You just need to bear with yourself. Sometimes it's not even about trying to do things. Just understand that you are going through something. You're not the first person to go through it. Unfortunately, you might not be the last, or you won't be the last person to go through it, but you will get through it. I promise you. I promise you. And I remember hearing, all these positive affirmations when I was going through it. It does nothing for you, but still try to surround yourself with messages like that. Now we live in a time where online you can find motivational speeches for any situations. I encourage you, when you're not feeling like hearing motivational words, play it on your way to work, between songs. If you ever listen to music, if you're ever watching a series, just put a 5-minute or 2-minute motivational clip on. Bear those 2 minutes and then move on. Go back to whatever you were doing. But please don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. If you know a loved one who is going through something, or who seems like they're just not okay, don't give up on them. Please don't give up. I know that it gets disheartening. I can't imagine how my mom felt, trying, and then feeling like you're failing because this kid is still not snapping out of this thing. I can't imagine how my sister felt, being in the house with me, and she's also grieving her dad. I almost want to apologize to them for, putting them through that, but I also understand that it wasn't my fault. It is just the hand that I was dealt in life, and that was how I got through it. But yeah, I'm proud of myself. I thought I was going to bawl my eyes out in this video, but I'm glad that I was able to make it through, so I can just get the message across. I'm just looking at a note that I made. But yeah, so maybe I want to end this video by saying that depression, one, looks different on different people, and there are stages in depression, right? So there's stages of hopelessness, there's stages where you feel like you don't want to be on this earth anymore and you want to remove yourself. There's stages where you just feel incredibly alone and sad, and there are stages where you feel nothing. You just kind of going with the motions. You're not inspired, you're not excited, you're not able to get excited about anything. Good things could happen, but you won't feel them. So it looks different, it feels different. If you feel like you might be going through a mental health issue, if you feel like something is wrong, you just can't put your finger on it, you don't understand, but you are not present, you don't feel alive, you're kind of just living, I'm encouraging you to please seek psychological help. Please do something, but don't go down without a fight. Do not let that win. You can fight, I promise you can, but don't let whatever spirit, whatever circumstance, whatever it is that's causing your depression, don't let that win. It doesn't have to win. You can get out of there alive. But yeah, that's it for me for today. I just wanted to share that. I just wanted to put it out there. I want to record a video on tips of navigating the journey through, a therapist, red flags to look out for with therapists, because there are red flags there as well. But we'll talk about that another day. But I do hope you're well. Thank you again for hanging out this long. Please do remember to like, subscribe, share. This could be helpful. Maybe someone needs to see that they're just not alone. But yeah, I hope you keep well. We'll see each other again in the next one. Bye.